Welcome back to High Five Garage. In preparation to put the motor back into the 1977 bus, I want to do a few things before we just slap it in. Besides cleaning out the engine bay, looking over the wiring, the battery, I think that's an AC compressor that we need to check or get rid of, I'm not sure. If you don't already know, this is a automatic 1977 Volkswagen bus. Something I've never dealt with. I'm so used to the manuals and the bugs and stuff like that. We don't know the condition of this transmission. I figure it's fine. That's probably why the motor's pulled, because the motor blew up and they just disconnected it from the transmission. But what I want to do is remove this transmission. So take it out of the vehicle. Looks like axles, couple mounts, probably a shift lever. I think it's got a cooler on it, so I got to disconnect that. But I don't think it should be that hard. And I want to take it out to, first of all, clean it, because it's really nasty. Another reason, clean out under the bus. Be really nice to get underneath there nice. It'll just look better, and I can kind of, you know, look at the condition of the bus, even though it seems to be in great shape. But then also, I don't know how it bolts up to that motor. I know I have an adapter plate and a torque converter and stuff like that, but I'm not 100% on it. And we don't have any of the bolts to mount it as well. I think a couple of the starter bolts go to the motor, but who knows? So if I pull it out, clean it, look it over, then, and even install it on the motor off, you know, out of the bus, then I can get to know exactly what is going on. Currently on YouTube, there is not much about these automatic transmissions. So this is that video. We're gonna learn, and yeah, obviously I'm gonna post it because you're watching this video. So let's get to pulling this transmission. First thing I wanna do is kind of get under here and get an idea of what needs to be removed. There's some bolts on these axles. I think I'm just gonna remove it from here, set the axles down. Same thing on that side. There is some mounts, or a mount up top, which the bolts aren't really in as well, so I gotta figure that out. And then I'm assuming there's probably a mount on the back. Probably. Let's see. Let's just go look. Okay, so here is the shift cable. So it looks like just a little clip, whatever. Set that to the side. There's a cable that goes to the back. Almost looks like I think a kickdown cable is what those are. I don't know. All this looks to be starter related, because that's where the starter goes. Oh, that goes to the heater boxes. That's what it looks like. Yep, and there is a mount right there for the transmission. Just take those two off. Take that one off for the bracket. There's a grounding strap right there. So the only thing I need to find is the oil cooler lines. I cleaned off the heads on the axles going into the trans, and got a Allen. I cleaned off the heads and got a Allen that fits. This one does not say what the heck it is, but I would assume 35, 40, something like that. Fits really nice in there. So I'm gonna get to removing those. Another thing I realized, there's a mount going across here, and there's actually motor mounts, or I guess trans mounts in this case, that unbolt. So we might need to replace those. So there's a mount, and then there's two motor mounts, trans mounts on the side. So I'll probably just take these out. Doesn't even look like they're in much anyway. So that'll be what I disconnected there. This is the driver one. Just finished taking out the top. all of them came loose. A couple of them are kind of difficult. Whatever, I'm just gonna leave those in there and get them later. And the axle comes right out. Dirty grease, but at least they were greased, I guess. So, all right, I'll finish getting that one out and start another one. All right, this is passenger side. Same thing, a couple of them gave me a little fuss. Oh, okay, same thing, good amount of grease, came right out. Okay, now that the axles are off, I'm gonna take this ground strap off. It's just a 13 up there. Let's see. Everything's coming off pretty easy. I'm just gonna put that back on because it's not coming off. So, okay, ground strap is off. We've got the trans mount in the back. They're 17s, so that'll be easy. There's this bracket for the shift cable, 17s. And probably the bolt for the ground is a 17 as well, but I'm not gonna take that off unless I gotta clean it. And then I need to take the shift lever off as well, which is just a little clip. So pop that clip off, don't lose the clip. Okay. Pop your little shift lever off and disconnect the two 17s on the side of the trans. Oh, that's not, I didn't even grab the right one. Okay. Disconnect the two 17s on the side. A little tight, nothing crazy. Nothing hitting with your hand won't hurt, or will hurt, I don't know. And take out those two bolts. Okay, now that that is off, the clip that holds it's just a little clippy-do. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna go put this in a bag. Okay, so I kind of said about this tube that's coming through here. It attaches to the shifter linkage. I said I got the shifter linkage off. It's not even really connected to the shifter linkage. It is, it's on the same rod, but not really, huh? Either way, I'm gonna disconnect it because it's in the way. And there's also a cable coming off the back that goes through that little hole. Don't necessarily know what that goes to, but once I get everything out, it'll be easier to see what everything does. So, like everything else, this nut holding this random rod up is a 13. Okay. You must drop your wrench a few times before completing taking a nut or a bolt off. Probably should have just gotten a socket, which I did. Okay. Of course I got a long one, but it'll still work, right? Okay. That's gotta be enough. Or maybe not. Okay, what's going on here? I think it's spinning the stud. 1 second. After a minute of fighting with it, I got it out. This stud was spinning, so I couldn't get the nut and bolt loose. So I just put some vice grips on it and clamped it so it wouldn't turn, but it's off. If you guys know what this is, let me know, because I don't think it's going back on. Now you can see the little spot where the cable gets hooked up. There's a cable right there. Not sure where that goes to either. Okay, I think that's it besides the 2 top ones and the 2 on the back. I think that's it. So I'm gonna put the jack under it and I think get the back ones out first. Okay, so it's somewhat supported. I'm gonna take these 2 out for the weird looking mount and see what happens. Only so much it can fall. So, and it's still got the 2 up front. Oh, yeah, they broke loose. That's some weirdness. Huh. Huh. That's awfully weird. What the heck? There's 2 like metal plates. That's not OEM. I don't understand it. I'm gonna do some research. If you guys know, let me know. But obviously there's no way that was factory. Okay, I'm gonna let this jack down and I'm just gonna see if the transmission tips. Still got the front ones. Yeah, it does. Okay, so now we just got these front ones, which is gonna be kind of weird with the way it's positioned, but I'll figure it out. So it almost looks like there's supposed to be bolts going through with a nut on the back, because this is just a stud going all the way through, and this bolt doesn't even go all the way through. It's just barely holding it up. Okay, now I've got 2 jacks under there. I'm pretty sure you could probably position this correctly, so you only use 1. But yeah, those are both just studs. I think there's just supposed to be bolts going through. So I'm gonna jack up the front now, put pressure up. Okay, let's get it a little more over to where it's actually holding on to something. Like there. There we go. Okay, pressure off of them. Yep, that's definitely not supposed to be there, and neither is that. Okay, I'm gonna go down a little bit. Oh, wants to tip. Okay, I'm gonna go down with the back. And that's the thing, if it falls, it falls. Okay, I'm gonna stop it right there. Probably gonna timber over, but maybe I can go slow with the jack and hold it. Oh, not that bad. Yeah, definitely not that bad. Even it out. Okay, go down with the back one. Ah, there it goes. Okay. Yeah, that's all that was hooked up. Okay, I'm just gonna get it placed on this red one. Hopefully. There we go. Cool. Get this one out of here. And then keep lowering this down and get the transmissions out. Transmission out. Okay. It's kind of on the axle a little bit. Okay, and pull it out. And axle's in the way. All right, got the transmission out of the bus. I did have to drop it off the jack to get it out, mainly because the fill tube was in the way. The thing is very heavy compared to a manual, and just big and bulky. I know you got, I think that's the actual transmission, and I think that's the diff. I think. So, that thing needs to be cleaned up. Here's the little cable that attaches to this. Little shift linkage. Not sure what it does or what it did. Obviously not hooked up anymore. Looks like it went through there and did something. But that's about it. I definitely thought it was gonna have a cooler or something, but it doesn't. Those are definitely not the original bolts for the top, so I'll measure it out and get some bolts and nuts that work correctly. And then I still have to find some for the bottom to get this thing mounted to the motor correctly as well. Takes some measuring and stuff, but shouldn't be that bad. Might not be the right thread or whatever, but it'll work. I actually haven't even checked the fluid on this thing. Wow. That's actually really clean. Here, 1 second, let me dip it again. We need an O-ring, looks like. Oh, maybe not. Pops in there pretty well. Wow. Look at that fluid. Huh. I'd say it's over full, but it's also not running. You're supposed to check them when they're on. Okay, now that the trans is out, I actually want to get up in here with a light and kind of show what's going on. So you can tell that everything is covered in sand, dirt. Yeah. There is the battery. Obviously that's on the passenger side. The panels for the taillights, like the back wire covers, are just sitting there on both sides. That, I'm pretty sure, is an AC compressor. It's got like a homemade bracket on it or something, so I'm gonna take that out. Okay, let's go underneath. When I say this thing is rust free, like, I mean it. I mean, it's covered in some nastiness. That's not rust, that's just dirt. Nothing but dirt. Oh, hey, that's where the mustache bar mounts. Never noticed that before. But I mean, just nothing but dirt. So let's look under here where the trans was. Same thing. No rust, just grime and grit. So that cable I keep talking about that's on the trans, go through that little eyelet, this looks like what it would go to, and it looks like it's broken off. So I'm gonna have to see where that goes. The bus, because it was converted to a carb instead of fuel injection, I guess that necessarily doesn't matter, but it does have an electric fuel pump right there. Definitely gonna replace these lines. We got a line going there, line going through. It's wired, but I don't know how or why. One of the wires comes through here. It goes to one of these up here. There's a big old spool of wire up there. What the heck that does? So I think this is where the gas tank is. A lot of Phillips screws and stuff. So I want to take out the tank and look at it before we install everything. Unfortunately, on top, like where all the parts were, there's a piece cut out, and I think they, well, it's cut out, but it's put back. I think they were trying to get to the tank that way. So that kind of sucks, but I'm gonna take the tank out and make sure everything's good anyway. Looks like that one and that one are for the heater boxes, which we did get, so that's awesome. I don't know if those will be used though, but either way. Then there's the heater ones. They used like a whatever air conditioning ducting thing to do it from the Y forward, which it's not even hooked up anyway, so I'm gonna have to get the correct one for that. Besides that, everything looks pretty good, just dirty. Oh, the thing's coming off up there. Oh, little insulation piece. But I mean, everything's gorgeous. Of course, there's hose clamp somewhere. Yeah, there's a hose clamp on the axles. Whatever. Okay, I want to start taking out a few things and get this engine bay clean. I think this is an AC compressor that is still hooked up. Holy moly. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I at least need to get this wiring off. Okay. Either way, here's the little cover for the taillight. Yeah, we don't want to lose that. Some kind of O-ring. some kind of tube. Looks like wire to a coil. Wire that's disconnected, ground wire. Okay, on this side, same thing. We got one of the covers for the taillights. More wires in my way. I'm assuming an air box went here at some point. More weird wires, and of course the battery. Let me, let's get the battery out of this. Yeah. 13s and probably 12s. Okay, first I'm gonna try to disconnect the cables. Should probably do ground first. That is definitely not a 12. That was a 12 and it actually turns. I'm guessing the battery is dead because no sparkage, no nothing. Is it turning the whole thing? Of course it is. Okay. Okay, let me figure this out. With a little bit of prying, the cable came off, so that's good. I will clean up that end and replace that because that is nasty. Let's see if the ground will come off just as easy. It's kind of a back and forth. Oh yeah, yeah, it's definitely loose. A little bit of back and forth, bam. Ground is off. Okay, let's see if the tie down comes loose. After being soaked in sand for so long. Comes right out. Cool. Oh, yeah, typical little plate that holds it. Easy enough. Okay. Let's see if this battery will come out. Looks kind of a pain, but let's see. I bet with the motor in, it's a pain. Maybe not, because you go out the front. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, battery is out. This might be the only place we have some rust. Or, in this case, corrosion. Oh. Yep. Yep, corrosion. Just battery corrosion, kind of like the bugs. It's the same thing. Unfortunate. If I wanted to, I could weld a panel in there, but see how bad it is once we get everything out. But I mean, you can see inside, everything is still nice and blue. Before I spray that whole undercarriage with power washer, I want to vacuum out as much dirt as I can. It's just less that'll be on the ground and less of a mess, and yeah. So I'm gonna vacuum all of it out.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the only spot where there is corrosion slash rust, which makes sense. That's where the bugs do it. Why wouldn't it happen into a bust, right? I'm not sure what I'm gonna do about it. We'll see how it does once the battery's back in it, but or if they even sell that panel. It's not terrible. I mean, there's a hole, but if that's the only rust this thing has, then it's pretty good. Okay, now that I vacuumed out most of it, I think I'm going to push it a little forward and then get my pressure washer out and soak everything in maybe purple power or something, and then just pressure wash the inside of there and see how it comes out. Also, I took out the blower motor. There's a plug that goes to this relay, ground that goes right here, and then 2 wires that go to this plug. And it's just 2 10 mil bolts. Okay, got the power washer out already. Looking way better, way more blue. I underneath, a lot of the grime's coming out. I'm gonna have to do it a few times, but definitely a lot more blue, which is awesome. Tons of dirt came off. But while I'm doing this, might as well do the transmission. So yeah, might as well. Oh my god. Oh my god, the screen's so bad. 1 second. Oh my god. Okay. I didn't record much of that because it got messy fast. I am drenched from head to toe. The bus is drenched. Everything's drenched. But it's getting a lot closer. I think a few more, you know, all I'm doing is putting like degreaser or oven cleaner on it, and it's slowly all coming off. It was pretty thick on there. There was some thick bits. So at least it's all coming off. I mean, it is everywhere. Yeah, but it looks better. So I'm gonna continue this tomorrow. I'm gonna let everything dry out, and then I think tomorrow I'll continue to clean the trans, probably soak it for a while, let it sit, and then I'll check the wiring. But I think I want to put a battery in it and just see what happens, see if we get some lights or signals or whatever. It's just good to see life from a vehicle, just to kind of give you inspiration to, you know, keep going. But that's going to be on the next video, as well as removing the fuel tank, looking over how it works, what's going on with it, cleaning it out, resealing everything, and putting it back in. As always, thank you for watching. Hope you guys are enjoying these videos, maybe learning something. The bus is getting closer and closer to running, and I'm getting excited. Hope you guys are as well. This is High Five Garage. Hope to see you guys on the next one. High five out.